Now, I don't believe that he's come to Tottenham Hotspur to tread water. Maybe he has. Maybe the financial offer that was put to him to manage his football club was so ridiculous that actually its returns aren't that important. But that can't possibly be the case, because ultimately he's a winner and he doesn't just come along to take a gig. He comes along to be successful. So I think that there is obviously a blueprint he has in his mind. He's not going to air it through the media. He's not going to allow the division that might exist in people's minds, which is the narrative. The narrative is Daniel Levy is a penny pincher and won't spend money and will only spend money when it comes in. Tottenham aren't backing their managers. Tottenham don't build properly in the boardroom. And some of that, when you compare it to the people they're trying to overtake, has legs. Because you can't suggest that Tottenham go pound for pound with Chelsea. They don't go pound for pound with Arsenal. And Arsenal have been in decline for some time, and maybe they're finding some water again. They certainly don't go pound for pound with Man City and Man United, and arguably, possibly, they shouldn't have to, because that's not always the best models. But if you're wanting to have a team with arguably one of the top 5 managers in the world, somewhere along the line, unless he gets a reasonable, and I've emphasised the word reasonable, level of support to be able to supplement the expertise that he brings, you're going to be on a collision course. Now, I do make him right. He's answered the question. He answered it yesterday. He said, you know, it is with other people. It is with other people that the decisions are being made. So that is as good as he wants to go with it. And there's going to be the sections of the media, and I know it's their job, to keep on digging until they get a different answer, or until they get an answer that they can unweave like a ball of wool.
Yeah, but so they should. We're midway through the window.
No, so they should, but so should the guys have some balls about them and start putting certain segments of the media in their place and start getting certain journalists back on their heels and saying, right, I've answered your bloody question. That's the end of it. And I'd like to see a little bit more of that from football managers and people full stop.
Yeah.
Because I think sometimes certain journalists have just a little bit too much of it.
How close to getting what Conte wants do you think Tottenham will come? Because this is something I mentioned to Jermaine Defoe, which you'll hear his answer later on this morning. And of course, he loves Tottenham. He was there 9 years. But I mean, if Conte won't muck about, will he? Well, if he doesn't get what he wants or close to it, well, could be trouble.
Look, I mean, bottom line is, with all due respect to Jermaine Defoe, he's a player, and he won't understand what Tottenham will and won't do in Daniel Levy's mind, what they're able to do in Joe Lewis. He knows the club, but that incarnation of a club is very different to the incarnation of a club that we've got now, which is, you know, a football club that's built this wonderful stadium, that's built arguably the best media-based stadium in the world, and surely to God needs a team to harness it.
Same people in the boardroom.
Daniel, yes, I know that, but Daniel's not stupid. He's not a stupid man, and he understands the vagaries and peculiarities of the challenges that are in front of them. And believe me, I think he'll get some support. Do I think that he will get as much as Tuchel gets? No, I don't. Do I think he'll get the same sort of dough that Arsenal have been spending? No, I don't. But I think that that Conte might just be able to provide that fact. But it's all about what Tottenham are aiming for. What is it? What are they aiming for?
Conte wants them to change this middle club mentality, as he so often calls it. Are they capable of changing it?
He called it a middle club mentality, and he talks about the reality of what it was. And we interpreted it last week as being mid-table. Other people have categorised it as saying he's in the middle of a middle group. Okay,
right.
But the bottom line is, Tottenham have built the best stadium in world football. They must want a team. They know the value of the media rights around the world. They know the value of being a top 4, top 6 side in the Premier League. They know where that's going to take them. They know that for every pound that they spend, they might get £1.10 back in marketing terms if they're able to be successful. So it's all about how and when. And I just think we're at a stage where maybe Conte has been told, this is supposition on my part, this window isn't the right one. This is not the time for us to do business. The time for us to do business is next summer, when you've got a full swing at it, when we can do some proper trading, because everybody knows that it's crap business in January. You do bad business in January.
Or some do, some don't.
Well, look, on the balance of probability, I would suggest 8 out of 10 deals. In the past, and maybe that's changed because there's a bit more flexibility with loans and so forth. People are a bit more creative and pragmatic in their thinking. But ostensibly, bad business is done. You're chasing, and the businesses that's done in January is those chasing a problem. Now, Conte doesn't have a problem. He has a problem of perception, because everybody thinks that Conte's going to come in the door and boom, gold dust. That's the problem that he has. But he doesn't have a problem with people shouting him out the door or relegation threatening him or any of that nature. Whereas Newcastle's of the world and Everton's of the world and other people of the world have real legitimate problems because they're going to get relegated if they don't do something about what they're doing currently.